Hi everyone. While it can be lovely to go on holiday with your greyhound, sometimes your situation or your destination or the activities you've planned just are not going to be suitable for them to come with you. So let's have a look at the options you have available to you in those situations. While it's not generally recommended to take a holiday soon after homing a greyhound because they need time to settle in, the chances are that at some point your circumstances will mean you need someone to care for them while you are away if friends and family aren't an option. And there are three main options you can choose from. The first of these is boarding kennels, which could be for any breed of dog or it could be specifically greyhounds. The next option is home boarding, again any breed or just for greyhounds. And the third option I'm going to look at is pet or house sitters. Let's have a look at these in turn. So thinking about boarding kennels, your greyhound probably has spent quite a lot of time in kennels, so it is going to be a familiar environment to them. This means some of them can really enjoy going back to kennels. Others may find it a bit more difficult. It very much depends on how well they coped with the kennel environment whilst they were there before. Now, if the kennel takes any breed of dog, it could be tricky for greyhounds that struggle with other breeds. And one thing that I think is a particular concern is that it's generally very noisy. Even to the extent that it goes beyond the safe level of noise for human beings, to the point that we ought to be wearing ear defenders to be in that space. And given that dogs have more sensitive hearing than we do, then being in such a noisy environment can of itself be quite stressful for them. So I would think about that. A greyhound only kennels does tend to be a quieter environment because greyhounds just aren't the noisiest of breeds. And as well as that, it may be less disorientating for your greyhound to go back to the kennel environment they've been in before. So it would be worth considering a greyhound only kennels, particularly one that they have experience of. Do ask about the exercise options. You may find they have paddocks, or they may walk the dogs, or those are extras. You need to check that out. And also bear in mind that your dog is likely to need to have up-to-date vaccinations, and check how far in advance these need to be given. For example, kennel cough vaccination usually has to be given at least 2 weeks in advance if the dog is going into a respective boarding kennel. The next option I'd like to think about is home boarding. In this situation, your dog goes to stay with someone else in their home, so it's like a home from home. This is still going to be a change for a nervous dog, so it could still be better for them than being in kennels, but not perfect. Consider whether they take other types of dogs or just greyhounds. Will they have other dogs there while your dog is there? Do they have their own dogs that maybe yours could meet in advance, or will they be other visitors? Checking out the type of social interaction your dog is going to have to make with other dogs on site. And also check whether they are registered with the council and licensed, which is a legal requirement in the UK. You also want to ask about their insurance, what they're going to do in case of vet emergencies, and basic things like that. The vaccination requirements may not be as stringent, but they may still require those basic vaccinations, though not all of them will want kennel cough. So that is our home boarding option. And the third option I'd like to mention is that of having a pet or house sitter. So here someone comes to your house to look after your dog, so they stay at your house. With this option, you want to check out how much of the day they're going to spend there. So they may still be out during the day for a proportion of the time. They're not necessarily going to be at your house 24/7 while you're away. So although this could be a better option for a dog with separation anxiety, it may not be a complete fix for that situation. Check how much walking or exercise they're going to do with the dog, and whether that's a basic price or if there is an extra charge for more time on that. And also ask about insurance or damages and how that would work while you're away. So key tips for whichever the options are that you're going to look into is to start early, particularly in the case of house sitters or home boarding. They're likely to book up very quickly, and therefore you need to start well in advance of when you plan to be away. See if you can get recommendations from other greyhound owners. Perhaps you have a social walk that you attend, or maybe you could ask at your rehoming kennels, or perhaps you could check on social media in some of the Facebook groups, for example, that are focused on greyhounds, or the Sighthound home boarding group on Facebook. Perhaps your homing centre offers boarding for homed hounds themselves if they can't recommend somewhere else. And if possible, I would use someone with greyhound experience, because as we know, they are a little bit of a breed unto themselves. If someone has no experience of this type of dog, it might not be the best solution for you. And where possible, I would have a practice night or two in advance before a longer session. So see if you could book them in for a weekend or a night midweek to get an idea of how they're going to cope before you go away for longer. That's all for today. We'll be back again with more videos for you soon. Bye for now. Look out for new videos every Monday, and why not subscribe so you don't miss out?